The greatest test of love actually doesn't come in those warm, fuzzy moments. It comes from conflict. How does the couple survive? Even more when you have an international couple that haven't gotten together, their long-distance relationship, they're testing everything, and then a challenge comes. You're about to hear an amazing story. Joel and Kate. Joel from America, Kate here from Ukraine. And in the heart of their process of getting to know each other, loving each other, feeling the emotions of this spark they have, he's involved in a near-death accident. What happens? See how their love is tested. It's one of those heartwarming stories I've ever been able to share. Sit down and enjoy this now.
You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine.
My name is Joel Cowell. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I work in IT and I am 34 years old.
My name is Kate Orlova. I'm from Ukraine, city Nikolaev. It's a little city in the south of Ukraine. I'm 25 years old.
My dating experience back home was definitely different. I dated a lot of different kind of people and it just wasn't going anywhere for a long time. And finally I wanted to settle down and wasn't really finding what I was looking for. So I started looking at other options, and actually a friend of mine showed me that Anastasia app, and I read a bunch of reviews and it was so shady, so I was like, no thanks. And then I found Dream Connections, and Dream Connections seemed like they did things a lot differently. A lot of the reviews I've read were amazing. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and it's turned out amazing, so it's changed my life.
I was working as accountant here for several years. Now I'm not working because I'm ready to leave this country. Guys here in Ukraine are not really family oriented. They don't ready to create a family. To tell the truth, my sister was working as interpreter in Dream Connection company, and she advised me to come here because she told that she met a lot of good guys from other countries, from US, from England, from Australia. Why I think this relationship tends to work, because our women are very family-oriented and guys from abroad very family-oriented. And unfortunately we can't say it about our guys, the majority, not about everyone. I have practically all my family in Dream Connection. My mom is in Dream Connection, my sister in Dream Connection, and I'm working here as interpreter for ages. And once I had plenty of clients, but once I had a very nice guy. His name is Joel, and he's just the cutest guy I ever met.
The biggest reason I thought a foreign wife might be a good idea is a lot of the people that I was meeting in my own country were, they had a lot of different moral values than I did, and I was trying to find somebody that had similar moral values, so I thought maybe somebody in another country might have more similar values to what I had, because I was raised a lot differently than most of the people I know. My parents are very old school and traditional, so I thought it was a good idea and I thought I'd give it a shot. I've actually traveled quite a bit before this overseas. My dad was military, so he was stationed in Korea for 2 years, stationed in Hawaii for 2 years. My dad's parents, his dad is German and his mother's Japanese, so we've been to Japan several times as a family. I actually have been to most of the 50 states in the US as a kid, and I've actually traveled to Dominican Republic and here now, and Montenegro, and Georgia, the country, not the state. When I tell people at home I've been to Georgia, they're like, oh, that's not that impressive. I'm like, no, the country, not the state. I'm trying to remember where else I've been, but I've been quite a few other places. I've traveled a lot as a kid. It was kind of natural, so it wasn't that big of a deal to try and go outside of the country. My impressions with Ukraine when I first came, it was definitely a very different country. Everything's a lot more beautiful here. I like it because all the trees, we don't really have that in Arizona. We live in a big desert, so it's just cactus, and every once in a while you might see a tree. But everything's a lot greener here, and the people are a lot nicer. Most people seem to talk to you like randomly, especially if they find out you're American. People get real friendly and they're like, oh, trying to speak English. So it's been actually a really good experience coming here. I mean, everybody that I've met here has been pretty amazing. When I came here and I first met the ladies, it was definitely kind of different, but the environment was set up very good. I liked it. Like, I mean, I've never met a situation where you could meet so many ladies at one time and just, I mean, it was good connections, and a lot of the other ladies were very nice, but I mean, what was funny is the first couple of tables when we went to the meet and greet was definitely rough. Those were my rough tables. It's hard to get into. You kind of have to expect the first one or two is not going to go as planned. But then once you start talking, and it just made it real easy. All the girls were very attentive, and they were interested in what I was saying and looking directly in my eyes, which you don't get that a lot. So it was definitely a good and different experience. So I had gone on a couple of dates. They were going pretty well. Things were going good for the week. I had met a couple of different girls. And then I think it was like Tuesday that week, or Wednesday, it was Wednesday. I met my translator's sister, twin sister, and we set up a date for the following day, and it was hands down the best date I've ever been on in my entire life.
I was from extra girls. I was not in meeting on greeting event because I was busy with my work. So I just meet my future husband accidentally. I was talking with my sister, and she was his interpreter. So that's why how we met. We returned with him from a date, and he was waiting with me for a cab. And my sister was returning from a date with another client, and she didn't know that I will be standing here, but she accidentally saw me standing with Joel, and we started the conversation, like 5 minutes conversation we had. And afterwards the cab came, and we received to the left. And sister, she was having a conversation with me in the cab, like, "Hey Anna, is this your client?" I said, "Yeah." "Is he nice boy?" She said, "Look, can't you see he's like the best boy ever?" I said, I kind of like him. Maybe you will arrange a date for me. I said, you know, like, I can't just call Joel and say, "Hey, you have a date." I need to ask him first. So I got home, called Joel, like, "Hey Joel, do you remember we were standing and having a conversation with my sister?" And he told, "Yeah, of course, like, do you like her?" He said, "Yes, sure, she's like great." I said, "Okay, we have a date tomorrow." She said, "Yeah."
Like a lot of the other dates that I started out with, it kind of started out a little bit awkward, but once we got going and talking a little bit more, things would go better. But like right off the bat, like it was just, she was very comfortable, and we had a lot of fun, and we talked. We actually went to a lounge, the lounge right next to the hotel over there, and it was a great night. We just hung out and talked for a while, and it was really great.
Our first date was amazing. It was the most funniest date I ever had. We were laughing all the time. But my sister was in agency for almost a year and a half, I think, by that time. And she was going only on first dates. First day, and then no dates after, never, ever. So I was warning Joel, you know, like, my sister going only on first dates. Afterwards, nothing happens. So if she will go on with you on the first date and never will go on second, don't be upset, please. He said, like, okay. The first date was great, just really chemistry between them was amazing. They were laughing all day long. No, it was really amazing date. And after the date, I called my sister, like, "Hey, Kate, how it was? Do you want to go on a second or no?" She's like, "Of course I want." Like, "Hey, Joel." I immediately called him back, like, "Joel, yeah, you are the first client with whom she will have second date. Congratulations." And yeah, afterwards he canceled all the dates, and we were having dates only with my sister.
The rest of the week, the two of us, after that night, we actually went out every night after that, and we just, I mean, I kind of stopped. That was it. I was like, after that meeting, I was like, I think I'm done now. and my translator was like, "Are you sure about that? You don't want to?" And I was like, "No, I'm done." and she's like, "What if she doesn't feel the same?" I was like, "I think I'll go home alone." But luckily, I lucked out, and she felt the same.
At the end of the meeting, when he was ready to leave, it was, I feel like I will miss him, and he proposed to be his girlfriend, and I agreed.
When I went home, I definitely was very concerned about that, and I was kind of concerned about that coming over here. Coming over here, my biggest concern was communication and keeping in contact afterwards, because I have a bad habit of not keeping up with people very well. But Viber made it amazing. We would text every day. I mean, I don't think I can remember one day of the last year we haven't texted each other, and we call on the phone usually every once in a while and talk. But I mean, every day we're texting, and it's just nonstop. We talk about everything, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, because that was just my major concern. And I talked to her a little bit before I left. We had talked about it, and I told her that was my concern, but she was like, I think we'll figure it out. And I was like, yeah, and we did.
It was very simple. We were just texting through the Viber every day. We have sometimes we call to each other, but not very often because it's a time difference. So it was much easier to text with each other through the Viber every day. That's all.
It's just been so easy, because when I went home, Kate has been amazing. She's just been very understanding and understood my concerns better than I thought she would, and it was just easy. This is the easiest relationship I think I've ever had. It's just been amazing.
I don't know, I was probably happier than he and she. I was more excited than probably they, because I already lost hope for a year and a half that my sister will find somebody.
Dating was very difficult, and it gets frustrating after you've been doing it for so long, and then you're just like, you find that one person and everything clicks, and you're just like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. So when I went home, I did want to come back as much as possible to see her. We actually, in October of that year, last year, so we went to Georgia together. That's when we went to Georgia. And we went to Potomac, and it was an amazing trip. It was one of the best trips I ever had. And that even more for me solidified it. And when I came home, I was like, I'm ready to get married. She's the one. And about a week after I came back, it was actually right at 7 days after I came back, I got hit by a drunk driver in a truck on my motorcycle. And that kind of put a big slowdown on everything we had going. They told me I wasn't going to walk they said at the time about 6 months. They said if I was real lucky and I worked hard, I'd make it in 3. And I told them, all right, I'll see you guys in 3 months on my feet.
I got a message from his friend. He texted me that Joel had a car accident and he is in hospital. And it was horrible. I was trying to understand what to do right now, what I should do. Should I go there or sit here in Ukraine and wait for some answers? But then I start texting with him, and he explains that he will survive. How to survive? Yes, and everything will be good. So I don't need to worry very much. And then his parents were texting to me. It was very nice. I was trying to support them. They were trying to support me.
And I actually made it. So I knew, because it's 6 months, it would be 6 months since I talked to my doctor, and I said, well, after I can walk again, when can I get on a plane? Was my first question, actually. And he said, well, it's going to be a while, because you're not going to be able to sit for that long a time. And because I broke my pelvis and both wrists, so sitting's been a real problem since then. And I actually was walking within 3 months. And then within 6, I came back in November, and we went to Egypt together, and that's when I proposed. But that was one of the longest and toughest roads. It was hard, not walking for several months, and all I wanted to do was get on a plane and come see Kate. But it was very good. My roommates actually were very helpful with that. That was probably the longest period of time we didn't talk with each other, because I was unconscious for a lot of that. And then I wasn't really coherent for a long time, but my roommates were texting Kate on a regular basis. And when my parents came to town, they had given my phone to my parents, and then my mom was texting with Kate. Actually, funny thing was, one of my roommates tried to text Kate in Russian. He used Google Translate to try and be nice. He was like, I wanted to make sure, so I tried to write it as basic as possible. I didn't want translator to make it not understandable. And I was asking her about it when we went to Egypt, and she's like, yeah, it didn't really come out the way he wanted it to, but I understood what he was trying to say. So Google Translate's pretty good for that, but sometimes it's a little off. I actually broke both wrists off. I lost a lot of the range of motion too. My doctor that fixed my wrists, I actually just saw him on the 30th of last month, and he told me that these are the worst wrists he's ever fixed that turned out as good as they did. So I was very lucky. I've actually been very, very lucky with accidents. I should be dead.
My sister Anne and my mom both were helping me very much, were supporting me. When actually Joel was already able to talk with me, we decided that I will come to visit him when he will be already at home, not in the hospital. But unfortunately, I was not allowed to visit him.
Kate was actually incredibly amazing because I told her I was very worried. When I first started talking to her again, I told her I was worried because I wasn't going to be able to walk or see her for a while. And she was just like, it's okay, whenever you can get on your feet, to take your time. So she was very supportive. I had a lot of physical therapy, and we would text a lot when I was going to and from physical therapy. So she was, you can do it, you'll make it through, and I'll see you soon. And it was everything I needed to keep going. It was a tough time. Like, I don't know if I would have been able to keep. The second time getting hit by a truck on a motorcycle was a little bit disheartening, but I definitely had a lot of motivation this time. And I think that's what my mom was seeing. My mom was definitely pointing that all the time. She's like, I didn't think you were going to be walking in 3 months, but you are, so I think you had a lot of motivation to get there, and I did. I was like, I don't want to wait 6 months and then another, who knows how long after that until I can get on an airplane. I want to start walking and get on a plane as soon as I can. Yeah, as soon as I got back to work and I could afford to get back on a plane, I got on a plane, and we went to Egypt together. I actually couldn't get that much time off work since I had just been off work for 3 months. So I took a week, and then she met me in Egypt. And then from there, we went back to Istanbul together and we split. But when we met in Egypt, I've never been so, I don't think I've ever been that happy in my life to see one person ever. And I showed up like the day before she did, because I wanted to be there before she got there so she didn't show up on the plane and just had nobody around. And that entire day before, I was dying. I was like, oh, is it time? When's the plane coming? But when it finally came, I was in that taxi ASAP, and I was down there, and when she came out of the doors, I had to wait outside of the airport for her to come out, and when she came out of those doors, I've never felt so happy to see one face in my life before. I got the ring, and in Egypt, I wanted to find a good location. I was like, I want to make it something memorable. And so I was not planning to do it right away, but like the second day we were there was a pier out back of our hotel, and we walked all the way down the pier, and we were kind of alone. There was 1 or 2 people around, so they took some photos for us, and then after everybody left and we were by ourselves, at the end of the pier there, I got on my knee, and the sun was going down, so it was really nice. I waited till the sun started setting, and then I was like, oh, this is perfect, I'm gonna do it now. And it was funny, because when I first got on my knee, she's like, oh God, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, that's not a good sign, I think that's gonna be a no. And when I asked, she was like, oh God, yes. And I was like, yes, thank you.
Of course I agreed. It was funny because he was just right from his accident, and when he was standing on his knees, I saw that something happened and he's feeling bad. I like, oh no, what you're doing? And he, will you be my wife? It was amazing.
So when I first met Kate, my first thought was she was a most amazing and beautiful girl I've ever met. As we talked more, she just became more and more amazing. We immediately started laughing and joking and having a good time. And our first date was just great. I couldn't imagine a better first date. It wasn't like anything big. We just went kind of to a lounge and talked and got to know each other, and it was just a lot of fun, and it was amazing.
I've met the most kind, the most funny, and the best man I can find in whole US.